Every hour, I need thee. Anybody need anything from God? If you need anything from God, I tell you, reach for it on this morning. I need a blessing from the Lord. I hear the word of God saying that my soul panteth after the water brook, so my soul panteth after thee, because my tears have been my meat both day and night. Anybody had your tears just to rain down and you needed God to come to your rescue. You just needed God to touch you, and you needed some deliverance, and you was waiting, oh God, and people were asking you a question, where is your God? You keep calling on him, but where is he today? Where is he in your home? Where is he in your church? Where is anybody can witness that today we need a God, because I realize that the world is going through turmoil and the world is going through changes and we're in a recession, but the church of God needs to be in recess. Because recess tells you that while you go outside and play for a little while, you don't been through turmoil and trials and tribulation. We need to be in recess, because when you're in recess, you wait for God to give you something. I'm in recess, just waiting for the miracle to be manifest. Because you go to school and they give you a recess moment, that moment where you go outside and play and you get all that stuff that they done put in you, give you some rest. And everybody just need to rest in the Lord. You need to just rest. So wherever what's going on, rest in God. Because when you rest in God, he said he'll give you desires of your heart. So I desire God to just move in my life. So I'm just waiting on the manifestation, because he is a present help in the time of trouble. I do honor this great man of God, Pastor Joyner, to his wife, and to all the preachers, deacons, other saints, and friends, and even sometime in the church you will have enemies, so I welcome them in the house on this morning. Anybody had some enemies and they was right at your foot? David said it would have been the one that I didn't know, but it was the one that I hang with every day that come against you. I ain't gonna preach that though, but there's some folks that come against you when you're trying to live holy. There is some folks that come against you. Even in your family, that's the main ones that don't want to see you. They don't want to see you come up. But I come to deliver what God has given me on this morning. If you would, I have prepared a Mother's Day message, but as I was sitting, you got to learn how to shift. When God says shift, because you can prepare, but you got to be able to shift when thus saith the Lord. Because too many people going on the internet and going everywhere to get a word, but we ain't ready to shift when God is ready to shift. Anybody needs something shifted in their life on this morning? You just need something to change. You need God to move some stuff out of the way that you can do what God called you to do. Turn with me to John chapter 11. John chapter 11. And I'm home, so I'm going to act like I'm home. Amen. Amen. I'm in the house. I'm in the house of God, and I'm home when I'm in the house of God. Amen. Amen. Verse 38 down to 44. Because there are some people that are stuck in places that need to come out. Verse 38 says, Jesus therefore again groaned in himself, cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone was laid upon it. Jesus said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he had been dead 4 days. And Jesus said unto her, say I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou would have believed the glory of God. Then they took away the stone from the place where they laid him. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hearest me. And I know that they heareth me always, but because of people which stand them by, I say it that they believe that thou hast sent me. And when he thus had left spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. And Jesus said unto them, Loose him and let him go. If I were to preach on this morning, it would be, you've got to let me go. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. You've got to let me go. When you look at the Gospel of John, we find Matthew, Mark, and Luke are what you call the synoptic Gospels. These are the Gospels that have similar stories with different aspects of how they seen it occur. But John's Gospel is different because John teaches us that it goes back to the beginning of time. Because the Bible said in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And as we learn today that there are some people that are watching us and see, are we in the Word? And even in chapter 2, we find him going to a wedding feast and changing the water into wine. In chapter 3, we find him going to Nicodemus and telling him, you must be born again. And even in chapter 4, we find him dealing with a woman at a well. He told her that all about the 4 men, and the men she was with was not her husband. I'm going to preach after a while. You got to understand in chapter 5, we deal with this man at the pool that dealt there for 38 years. And even in chapter 6, we find him dealing with the 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread. In chapter 7, we find them dealing with division in the church. And in chapter 8, we find him forgiving this woman that had committed adultery. And even in chapter 9, we find him dealing with the blind man who was born blind. And in chapter 10, we find Jesus being that good shepherd. But my task this morning is to deal with chapter 11. Because chapter 11 teaches us that sometimes God don't come when we think he should come. And sometimes God will give us an appointment and we have to wait until our time